evening. As many of you know, we've been searching for a location for a new bus garage for more than 2 years. As a reminder to the board, we've shared over 17 properties that we've initially looked at, and you'll remember that we had concerns with each. Some of them, and the most common, were zoning issues. A few of them were sites that are too small for our needs or had other challenges that didn't make them desirable or feasible. The property owner of our current lease site may extend our lease into December over on Stagecoach, but we would need to have a property after that. There's been some conversation by the board about the possibility of buying that property. We've shared with you environmental reports from 1995 and 2007, as well as a report from Fields Environmental. To further investigate the feasibility of this site, the board would need to direct us to dip into the fund balance to hire a consultant to conduct a Phase 2 environmental study. Keep in mind the current site is undersized for our needs, and we'd need to find a second location to store additional buses, which would be an increased cost. Earlier this year, we presented you with a purchase agreement for Scannell property in Afton based on the parameters that you had set for us. Since then, we've learned of changes to zoning for the property by the City of Afton. Further action on that property is on hold while Scannell determines if they'll pursue legal action against the City of Afton. We don't know how long that process may take. As a reminder, a total of $3.5 million was set aside in the bond to be used towards the cost of a bus garage and bus terminal. Most available properties would require an investment closer to about $6 million. With the exception of the current location, which is again undersized and has some environmental safety questions, we cannot project a bus garage for $3.5 million at this time. While we continue to search for property to purchase, we must now also look at considering leasing options. Very few leasing options are available within our district boundaries, and we're having to look outside the district for possible solutions. Based on available properties for lease, we do anticipate our costs rising from about the current $228,000 per year to between $300,000 and $400,000 for a new location. This does not account for a change in contract, which would occur if we were located outside of the district, which would lengthen our driver's day, nor does it include any increases in fuel or other resulting costs. We'll be bringing this issue to you at a further in the future at a work session for you to discuss and give you more details. I'd also like to give you an update on Marine and Withrow. We'll be scheduling a session with the Finance and Facilities Working Group to look at the information that's been returned and consider options for the sale of Marine and the future of Withrow School. We're also going to be meeting with Brian Baer and the administration from the City of Hugo to talk about the upkeep of the facilities and a possible recreational use of Withrow School property site. A concern was brought up at a recent school board work session regarding ADA compliance at the Pony Activity Center. Our facility manager, Tony Wilger, has explored the concern, and although materials in question are ADA compliant, we agree that they could be of higher quality. We're working to swap out the materials with new materials to resolve the concern, and we've shared this plan with the person who had the concerns. One more thing that we'd like to share is the high school parking lot. There have been issues within the parking lot. We've worked on the transportation lanes in, but those of you who are trying to drop off students in the morning know that there are concerns. So after MEA break, we'll be making some modifications to the high school parking lot to improve the flow and traffic control. This should help improve safety for our kids who are walking through the parking lot, and we expect to have that system in place after the students return from MEA. And then finally, last week, leaders from Stillwater met with staff from Minnetonka and Eden Prairie to begin planning for the Upper Minnesota Ignite and Innovate Conference. This conference will be held in Stillwater, June 18th through the 22nd. 2 years ago, it was held in Minnetonka, last year in Eden Prairie. And educators from across the Midwest will be visiting with Stillwater to learn more about innovation and working with students. Thank you.
Thank you. On